Let me tell you a little story. A while back, I had a client. Let's call her Michelle. Michelle was madly in love with this guy. She visualized him, affirmed, did all the right manifesting techniques, but she was terrified of letting go. She would tell me, Cindy, I know I need to trust the process, but if I stop thinking about him, if I stop doing all the things, what if he just forgets about me? What if he finds someone else? And I'll never forget the moment she looked at me and said, if I let go and he moves on, then what does that say about me? That right there. That's the real fear, isn't it? It's not just about losing him, it's about what the loss would mean about you. That's what we're unpacking today. Because if you don't heal that, you will chase, cling, overthink, and sabotage yourself straight out of love every single time. So here's the question. If you knew without a doubt that you could have everything you wanted without chasing, without anxiety, without fear, how different would you feel right now? Stick with me because by the end of this episode, you're going to feel the shift in your soul. So let's be real. Letting go feels impossible because on a subconscious level, it feels like abandonment, like you're walking away from love, like you're saying, I don't want this anymore. That's a lie. One. And your ego is using you hook, line, and sinker with this one. Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means opening up your hands so love can actually land. Well, when you've been conditioned to believe that love is something you have to grip to keep, the idea of releasing it feels like death. And in a way, it is. It's the death of your illusion of control. But here's where it gets crazy. That control, it was never real in the first place. Now let's address the real fear. If I let go, what if he finds someone else? Hmm, let's sit with that one, shall we? First of all, let me be blunt. If someone can just replace you that easily, were you really theirs to begin with? Are they truly yours? Doesn't sound like it, does it? And let's take a step further. If you spend your energy trying to prevent someone from leaving, aren't you already acting as if you believe you're not enough? See, love is a mirror, and so when you behave this way, you're actually acting as if they're already gone. So you're putting energy in the wrong place. Oh, that's the real problem. The issue isn't letting go. It's that deep down, you don't fully believe you're irreplaceable. Hmm. But let me tell you something. A woman who knows her worth, a woman who knows she's the effing prize, she doesn't sit around wondering if someone will choose her. Like, this is not what we do. She doesn't, it's just not on her radar. She knows that anyone who lets her go is the one taking the loss. And trust me, when you move from that energy, you don't lose, you attract. It's similar to being overly nice to guys. You know, some women do it. A very good friend of mine said this, and it was so poignant and so perfect. She said, you can't out nice a bad self concept. And it has a similar effect. If you're being nice, not from a place of genuine That's who you are. But because you're afraid to lose someone, or you don't speak up when you should, or you're just overly trying from a place of, I don't want to lose them, it has the opposite effect. And people can sniff that out, and it usually repels instead of um, has the endearing effect you're thinking it will have. It's almost like you're behaving like a doormat, so they walk all over you. It's not a good vibe, trust me. And energetically speaking, they do it, whether they believe so or not. They end up doing it, and being uber nice just doesn't work sometimes. Like I gotta tell you, I'm not saying to be mean. I'm just saying be yourself, be authentic. Okay. All right. Let me ask you: have you ever felt like you had to earn love? Like the second you stop proving yourself, they disappear? How about, have you ever felt that panic of not knowing where you stand and it made you act completely out of character? Mm, that's one I deal with a lot in my coaching calls. Be honest. Have you ever checked their social media just to see if they moved on? If you just yelled yes at the screen, then this is for you. Keep watching. So here's the real secret to letting go. Letting go isn't about stopping your feelings. It's about redirecting your energy back to yourself. You're not letting go of them. You're letting go of the fear that's been running the show. You're not losing anything. You're losing the desperation that has been blocking your manifestation. And guess what happens when you do that? You become magnetic. That fear has a way of constricting energy and repelling people. And letting go and being faith and being trusting has a way of being magnetic. It's like it creates the void that sucks people in. It's not intentional, it's not something you think about, it's just how energy works. You just move differently, and suddenly the very thing you're afraid of losing is that thing that's chasing you. It's a flip. I've seen it happen over and over again. It's the only way I know how to be, if I'm honest. The second someone truly embodies their worth, the entire energy of the situation just shifts. So here's what I want you to start saying to yourself every single time that fear creeps in: I'm irreplaceable. I do not chase. I attract effortlessly. What is meant for me is already mine. Let's say that again. Yeah? I'm irreplaceable. Do not chase. I attract effortlessly. What's meant for me is already mine. Feel that in your body, because the second you believe that, your reality has to reflect it. Letting go isn't losing, it's stepping into the power of someone who's never had to grip in the first place. If you've never had to hold on to something so tight, you will feel what it's like. In fact, it's part of the Tao Te Ching. When you don't try to control things, that's the reason you have control. It's a paradox, but work with it. Energy works this way. Find a lot of young women have the tendency to step into their masculine energy, either due to trauma, because the masculine isn't strong enough, or because they're afraid. And in that effort to control the relationship, it's the reason they lose the individual. If the person happens to be a stronger masculine energy, he's going to be turned off by it. He or she, doesn't matter. They're going to be turned off by it. And if uh, they're not, and they're softer, they eventually come to resent it because it's emasculating. And even if they're okay with being controlled at first, eventually it has a way of breaking down and not working. Believe me, I understand energy. I understand love. This is my life's path, you guys. This is what I do. Like, this is what I know, like the back of my hand, the way I was raised. Everything about me understands these things. So I'm not just blowing smoke or talking to you from a place of this is the book that I read. No, this is real life experience I'm trying to impart. So if this hit you in the soul, drop a comment and tell me what's the one belief about love that you're ready to rewrite right now. Let's talk. And I'll see you in the next episode. Namaste, my friends.